Okay. I don't know if this thing is working. I think it is. Um, so yeah, cool. This is really, I'm trying to do a little experiment here, and it's to bring folks into this world of small business entrepreneurship and showing folks what we do as bookkeepers on a day-to-day basis. And I've got this camera set up here, and I guess I'm just going to let it record or let it stream. So this is kind of the first day, first hour that I've ever tried to do it like this. And this is a real estate focused bookkeeping firm here. The brand is Real Estate Bookkeeper, and we help real estate investors and also just those in the real estate industry. Maybe they're builders, maybe they're flippers, buy and hold, land developers, all that, with their bookkeeping and accounting needs. So there's that part, and it would be great if this leads to getting some great clients. But more than that, I just think it's this very cool moment in history in which you can actually watch someone in real time do the things that you might want to do, maybe those things you want to avoid. But what we're going to do here on this channel is just reveal the kind of daily grind that is, well, the journey that I'm on to build this firm. I have one bookkeeper at the moment. This is our little office in Conroe, Texas. And today I was actually at a client's location, but most of the time I'm here. And forgive me if this is a little bit of a ramble, but it's the first one. So my goal is to get this place. Really, the goal, the business goal, is to implement a marketing strategy that allows us to get in front of our target avatar, target client, which are real estate investors that meet certain requirements, because the fulfillment of the service kind of goes without saying. I've worked for QuickBooks. I've helped many business owners and their bookkeepers and their accountants clean up their books. It's what I do every single day, day in, day out. And I know we can do it. That's not a problem. I know that we're very high level, trustworthy folks that take seriously what we do. And I just, I think we're like top tier when it comes to the bookkeeping portion, but it's the marketing portion that really, in many sense, is the business. And I can talk more about my thoughts about building businesses and whatnot at a later time. But I guess suffice it to say, I'm going to actually not, I'm not going to do a big live stream right now. I'm just kind of seeing if this works. I ran a little test earlier, but I've adjusted the settings and hopefully it looks a little better. And my plan is to live stream a portion of every day in which I just kind of talk about what we're doing and what our initiatives are and kind of let you watch how we do our work. If you're someone who is interested in building a business, you can see that happen. If you're someone who is maybe looking for a bookkeeper, you can see how we operate and maybe make your determination about that if you want to try and work with us. Again, we're fairly exclusive to real estate industry professionals, real estate investors, house flippers, yes, buy and hold as well, commercial, residential. There's actually a lot of different facets of the real estate industry, but anyways, we can serve them all. Or maybe you're just watching because you want to see, you just like watching people do work. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe you can put it on in the background. I guess while I'm live streaming, I might as well mention what we did today. Zane, who's gone home already, he uh, categorized transactions all day long for a historic cleanup that we're working on. We're helping someone with. That person actually is not a real estate investor, but we took them on anyways because they're local here in our local Conroe, Texas area. We serve the greater Houston area, Houston, Woodlands, Conroe, Montgomery, all that. Austin, even. I mean, we serve folks all over the United States, but if you are close enough to come to our office, we welcome you to walk in our doors. Otherwise, you can do a virtual meeting with us, just as good, just as effective. So Zane worked on that. Like I said, I went to a client's house, also helping him with a cleanup. He got a little bit behind. He was in a panic. I went there yesterday. I spent a few hours, and between yesterday and today, we've made massive progress. Now, as far as building the firm, he's not really a real estate investor, but he was one of my earlier clients when I left QuickBooks, started my own firm. He was one of the first, a really genuine guy. I like him a lot. Near to the office, beautiful property. He's got a ranch. Um, and I love giving value to him because I guess I kind of enjoy walking into this place of chaos and the business owner being stressed out because they don't know if they're going to be able to get this all done, but it's and they're not sure if they can even tell us what needs to be done, but I already know, so I enjoy walking in, kind of taking the lead, laying out everything that needs to be done, forming a plan, coordinating with all the folks that need to be coordinated with, executing super efficiently, and just stepping into that leadership role to where they're like, holy crap, all I have to do is do what this guy says, and our problem that I thought was going to be intractable will be solved very fast and to a very high degree, and I can move on with my life. I love seeing that in people. I love solving their problems in that way. In a certain way, it gives them their peace of mind back, gives them their life back a lot of times, because they don't have to stress about it, and they can move on with the other things they should be doing in their business, which are making money, and doing what I'm doing right now, which is trying to speak and get in front of my ideal client. If you're a business owner, really, if you can just offer your ideal client what they need and they believe you can do it because you show them that you can do it, they trust that you can do it because you've proven yourself trustworthy in some way, and you explain that, if I step in and I solve the problem, here's what life's going to look like. If nobody solves the problem, or if you hire someone who fails, here's what it looks like. Then they're going to hire you. You know what I mean? Especially like typically when you're starting a small business, at least in my limited experience, it's not like I've been doing this for 50 years yet, but it feels very much like, as the more I learn, when you start, you need to speak to that target avatar. And one requirement is kind of the cost can't be an issue for them. You need to speak to the folks that already have money and they're already successful, and they just want someone they can trust that's going to execute it quickly with low friction and get the job done. You know what I mean? Like that's what they care about. And ironically, that's a good business decision. You know what I mean? To hire someone, pay them a premium, be happy to pay them a premium. I pay my guys premiums. And you do that because that's a good business decision. Hiring high quality people, paying them more than market rate is what you need to do to attract and keep high quality people. And ironically, that allows you as a business owner to make more money, which starts a cycle. Now you've got more money to hire more great people or give them bonuses and incentives to stay with you and invest more into your business, and round it goes. The catch 22 is when you don't have any money and you're terrified to overpay, and you end up hiring folks at a budget or a deal or something, and then they fail, and then your problem isn't solved. You keep having to focus on that instead of making more money. You never can get to a point where so anyways, my point is that I don't know what my point is. I don't even know how we got onto this, but it doesn't matter. I'm very tired. Actually, I pulled almost an all-nighter last night, trying to get a proposal out. And you know what? That proposal, I think maybe it was sent to maybe someone, maybe that's why it's on my mind. You can't really tell sometimes if they're an ideal client in the very beginning. You need to be able to have a little sales call and show them that you have the solution, prove that you have the solution, prove that you are all those things I described, and then they need to be able to pay for your service. And sometimes they're just not at the stage in their business where they can, and you're also not at the stage in your business where you can afford to not have high paying clients. What do I mean? Like, this isn't about greed or anything like that. It's just it's the business model I think that works very well for startups. So Tesla, everyone likes to kind of hold them up as the startup example, but uh, it's a great example because when they started selling cars, they sold them at very expensive uh, pricing to people that didn't have a problem with expensive pricing. And as they moved along, they were able to gain efficiencies in the business, and then eventually they were able to lower their prices and spread out their offerings to a wider demographic. So that'd be great if we're able to do that, and I think that we will in the future. But just right now, really, we need like 10 foundational clients. Now, Tesla's an innovative company. How are we innovating? I think this is how we're innovating. You know, um, financial services to some degree are a commodity. The problem is trust. Trust is so critical, and it's so like it cuts so deep when things are not done right. It causes such massive problems when things are not done right. And a lot of times you don't know that that cancer is there until here come the IRS agents or whatever, until you realize someone has been embezzling money, until you realize that you can't get the loan you thought because the finances weren't what you expected when you go to the bank. Until you're suddenly out of money because we weren't tracking the project profitabilities correctly. We didn't have clarity over our cash flow and a million other things. So, anyways, I won't go into all the bad horror stories, but I just know that the trust with delivering of financial services is appreciated by folks that have been in the game and that are successful. So the innovation in my company, in this firm, and in the Real Estate Bookkeeper as a brand is to bring folks into this shop, into this firm, and let you come to know us in a way that is unique. I don't think anybody else is doing this. Another unique advantage that we have is that I have experience in web development, and like I'm far more technologically savvy than I think the vast majority of our competition out there. And I think, well, I guess I have a vision that we're going to end up paving the way for everyone else. So, anyways, maybe I'll just leave it at that. I've got a lot of work to do, and tomorrow's another day. I got to go out to location and try and wrap up the cleanup for this other client so that we can do all the things here to grow. Okay, actually, this has been pretty fun. It also kind of clarifies things for me as I talk about them. So this is good. I think this is something I'm going to do on a daily basis, in addition to longer form tutorial videos in which I share my screen and teach people how to do things in QuickBooks, and also a slightly more formalized and polished series of videos that are more like presentations. Although I might scrap that because this might be the best way to do it. Not sure about that. So anyways, okay. Thank you. Thank you for watching this. It looks like there are 0 viewers. The channel's brand new, just started it this week. And in fact, this office, I've only had this office for about 3 weeks now. But being able to do this and everything else, I just think it's going to be a big benefit. So, all right, let's end it. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, please like this video, subscribe, visit therealestatebookkeeper.com